movements is to stretch the legs and hips and to build core strength. All you'll need for this is a comfortable spot to work, your yoga mat or a carpeted area, a strap, and maybe a blanket or a thin pillow for underneath your head. When you're ready, come down onto your back. With the arms at your sides, extend the legs up towards the ceiling. Tuck the hands just up underneath your bottom. We'll begin with some leg raises. Let's move with our breath. On an inhale, begin to lower the legs until they're hovering just above the floor. And then on your exhale, raise the legs back up. Keep moving with your breath. At any point, if you start to feel pain or too much tension in the lower back, bend the knees, bringing the knees in a little bit towards the chest, and lift the legs back up. Follow with your breathing. Lowering on your inhales, lifting with your exhales. Let's do just a couple more. And after raising the legs up again, bend the knees, releasing the feet to the mat, and untuck the hands from underneath you. Let's cross the right ankle over the left thigh, flexing the right foot. Let the right knee move away from your upper body. From here, we'll move into thread the needle pose. You can take your strap and loop it behind the left thigh if you like, or clasp your hands behind the left thigh or across the left shin. Pull the legs gently toward your chest. Breathe into your right hip. Relax your hips, your shoulders, and your neck. Let your face be soft and your jaw relaxed. And we'll release the left foot back to the mat. Keep the legs crossed. Open your arms a little out to your sides and roll the hips to the left, bringing the sole of the right foot to the floor. Roll the hips back to center. Take your strap, loop it around the right foot. Reach upward through the heel. Extend the left leg down to the floor. Reach away through the left heel as you reach up through the right one. Take both ends of the strap into the right hand. You might want to wrap the strap around the hand. Open the left arm out to your side. Lower your leg out to the right. Notice I'm propping onto the upper arm to help support the weight of the leg. And I'm keeping the shoulders and hips level with the floor. If that left hip starts pulling up from the floor here, ground it back down, even if that means lifting the right leg a little higher. few more breaths here. And we'll raise the right leg back up. Bring the straps into your left hand. Open the right arm out to your side. Roll your hips to the left, propping on the left upper arm. Raise your leg back up. Release it from the strap. We'll set the strap down. Bringing the right foot back to the mat with the knee bent, we'll cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Keep the left foot flexed in a neutral position and let the left knee move away from the upper body. Move into thread the needle pose. Either loop your strap behind the right thigh, clasp the hands there, or clasp the hands across the right shin. Again, check to see if you're creating tension anywhere. Are you squeezing or clenching anywhere that you can relax? Relax your jaw. Let your face be soft. Let your breath flow freely. And then we'll release the right foot back to the mat, keeping the legs crossed. Open your arms out to your sides and roll your hips to the right, bringing the sole of the left foot to the floor. We'll roll the hips back to center. Take up your strap, loop it around the left foot, and reach up through the heel toward the ceiling. Extend the right leg down to the mat, reach away through the right heel as you reach up through the left. Bring both ends of the strap into your left hand. Open your right arm out to the side and lower your leg out to the left. Raise your leg back up. Bring the straps into your right hand. Open your left arm out to the side and roll your hips to the right, propping on the right elbow, keeping the shoulders grounded. Raise that left leg back up and release it from the strap. Set your strap aside. Let's clasp the hands together behind the head. If you're using a blanket or a pillow, you may want to scoot that out of the way here. Clasp the hands behind your head. On an exhale, lift your head, shoulders, and feet, elbows and knees moving toward each other. And with your inhale, release slowly back to the floor. Keep following your breath. Exhaling, lift and crunch. Inhaling, slowly release. And we'll try 2 more. As you release back to the mat, take a moment to catch your breath here. Let your arms rest at your sides. The feet should be about hip width apart, parallel to each other. We're going to move with our breath through some bridge poses. On your next inhale, raise the hips up, moving the pubic bone toward the ceiling and your chest toward your chin. Then exhaling, slowly lower back to the mat. Continue to follow your breathing. As you lift the hips, make sure your head is neutral, gazing directly up. This keeps your neck in the safest position. When you inhale up, and if you notice your knees starting to splay out to the sides, bring your thighs back to parallel. And as you exhale down, imagine rolling one vertebrae at a time back to the mat. Let's do 2 more bridge poses. As you return down to the mat, we'll stop there and then tuck the knees in toward your chest for a hug. If it hurts your knees to be compressed, just bring the hands behind the knees to the back side of the thighs. It's really about bringing the thigh bones in towards your chest. You can rock gently side to side if that feels good to you. If you're rocking, let's come back to rest in the center and release the feet to the mat with the knees bent. Then tuck the right knee in toward your chest for a hug. Again, you can clasp the hands behind the thigh if you'd rather. And then extend the left leg down to the mat. Reach away through the left heel as you pull the right thigh toward your chest. Release the right foot to the mat. Pull the left thigh in toward your chest. And extend the right leg all the way down. Reach away through the right heel. And release the left thigh. Extend the left leg all the way down to the mat. With your next inhale, raise the arms overhead to the floor behind you and stretch your body long. Let the feet be flexed just as if you were standing on the floor. So we're basically in a standing mountain pose here with the arms overhead. Reach through the heels heels in one direction, through the fingertips in the opposite direction. Another breath or two. And on an exhale, release the arms back to your sides. Let's bend the knees, place the feet on the mat, lift the hips, tuck the tailbone under, and set the hips back down, bringing some space into the lower back. Then extend the legs up towards the ceiling. The arms can just rest at your sides. Reach up through the heels toward the ceiling. Press your navel toward your spine, pressing the lower back into the mat, engaging the abdominals. Continue to engage the abdominals as we move into yogic bicycles. Begin to pedal your legs like you're riding a large bicycle. You can either press down into the palms to help steady yourself here, or clasp the hands around the edges of your mat. And let's speed it up, begin to pedal faster. And a little work for your brain, my favorite part of this pose, throw it in reverse. That the thighs are burning and the belly's burning, bring the feet down to the mat. Turn the soles of your feet towards each other, letting the knees open out to the side. Flip your palms toward the ceiling and take a little rest here. You can close your eyes if you like. This pose has a couple of different names. This is reclining bound angle pose or reclining cobbler's pose. This is a good stretch for the hips and the inner thighs. And we'll bring the knees back together again and roll over onto your belly. Come onto the belly, but propped up onto the forearms. Let's do a forearm plank. There are a few options here for the arms and for the lower body. One option is to keep the forearms extended straight forward, palms facing down into the mat. You could make fists, or you could clasp the hands together. For the lower body, if you have lower back issues, I'd like you to keep your knees to the mat and lift just the hips. If you have no issues with the back, you might try tucking the toes under, lift the hips and the thighs from the mat. So choose your options, lift and hold. Also, make sure that you're not collapsing into the upper back, letting the shoulder blades stick away from the back. Plant those shoulder blades firmly into your back, rooting down into the upper arms, down through the elbows, down through the forearms, into the floor. Try not to hold your breath here. Let your breath flow smoothly. And release back to the mat. Take a little rest. You can rest on your cheek or on your forehead. let's come into a low cobra pose. So let's plant the palms underneath the upper chest. Keep the elbows in close to the rib cage. Press the tops of your feet to the mat, engaging the legs. Press the pubic bone to the mat, engaging the lower abdominals. Lift the chest from the mat, reaching forward through your heart. If you notice your shoulders crowding up close to your ears, relax the shoulders down and away. And breathe. You should have your chest here just as high as you can hold it if you were to pull your hands out from underneath you. So you're actually not really holding yourself up with the hands, you're using the core strength to keep the shoulders and chest lifted here. Another breath or two here. And on an exhale, release down. Take another short rest. When you're ready, we'll move into locust pose. There's several variations. For this variation, let's bring the arms down by your sides again, palms facing the ceiling. Press the pubic bone to the mat, engaging the abdominals. Lift your head, shoulders, chest from the floor, fingertips just touching the floor. And you can remain here, or you can also lift the legs behind you, reaching back through the toes, forward through your heart. And when you're ready, release back to the mat. Take another short rest. And after those couple of back bends, let's do a counter pose. So let's come into a cat pose. Tuck your tailbone under, arch your back, bring your chin toward your chest, and we'll hold here for several breaths. Let's flow with our breath. As you come to your next inhale, lift the tailbone, lower your belly, lift your chest and chin into cow pose. And keep following your breath. Exhale again into cat. Inhale into cow. We'll do just a couple more rounds of this. Come back to tabletop, pause there, and let's come back for a little rest. You can either stretch out flat onto your belly again to rest in front lying Shavasana. You can bring the hips down to the heels and your forehead to the mat into child's pose. Legs can be together, or you can spread the knees a little bit. Or you can keep the hips lifted above the knees in polar bear pose, forehead coming down to the mat or to your forearms. Enjoy your rest.